Hello good people, and welcome back to another math video. This time also on the area of composed figures, just a few more problems. And the ones that I'm doing are related to some that we have for homework this evening. Alright, the first one that I'm going to do, it's on the back side of the sheet, labeled number 8. And it basically looks like a large arrow. So remember, the first step is that we want to turn this into a shape, into two shapes, excuse me. And so if we break right across here, then what we'll have is a triangle on the top and a square on the bottom. So if we do this as number 1 and this as number 2, we can begin to figure out their areas. So I'll do A subscript 1 for my bottom shape, and the area is going to be base times height, which is 6 times 6. So the area will be 36, and this problem was actually, I didn't write them, but it was in yards, so that will be 36 square yards. And the area for our second shape, well, that's a triangle, so I need a different formula. I need base times height divided by 2. Now here we actually have to figure out the base. Well, if this part is 3 right here and this section is 3, well, what is the part where I made the red dashed line? That's actually going to be 6, because the bottom shape, we have this 6 right here, so this distance will be 6. So I have 3 plus 6 plus 3, which is 12. So that base is 12 times, and my height, that's right over here, my height of the triangle is 9, and divided by 2. So 12 times 9 is 108. 108 divided by 2 is 54, also in yards, so that would be 54 square yards. So to get the area of the total shape, I would just need to add my 36 plus my 54 to give the area of the total shape. And if I was doing this in my head, I would say, what's 30 plus 50? That's 80. 6 and 4 is 10, so my total area is 90 square yards. Alright, number 9, also on the back side, was this sheet right here. Now, there's more than one way that you could break this up. But based on how things are labeled, I would say probably the easiest way to break this up would be just to kind of come right down here. And this splits it up into a rectangle that is 11 by 10 and a square that's 8 by 8. Now again, there were other ways to break it up, and you could do it those other ways if you happen to see them. I'll pick these. So I'll call this shape number 1 and this one shape number 2. So the area of number 1 again is going to be base times height, which here would be 11 times 10, which is 110. Whoops, sorry. 110. And this one was in feet, so 110 feet squared. The area of my second shape, that would also be base times height, and that's easy. These are both 8. So that will be 64 feet squared. So the area of the total shape would just be to combine these. 110 plus 64 would be 174 feet squared. The next shape, I know I wrote number 2. It's the third one on the back side, but it does have a number 2 next to it. So this shape, this is a irregular pentagon. So we need to first think about how are we going to split it up. And again, there's more than one way to do it, but to me the easiest way to do it is to split it into a rectangle and a triangle by making our cut right there. So if we do that, then I have this rectangle as my number 1 shape, triangle is number 2. So the area of number 1 as a rectangle is going to be base times height, which is 8 times 13, or 13 times 8, and that's 104. And this was in inches, so I'd have inches squared. The area of my second shape, that's a triangle, so I know my formula is going to be base times height over 2. But now I got to figure out what those parts are. Well, this line that we made right here is the other side of the rectangle, so that is also going to be 8. And that's the base of my triangle, so I know I have 8. What's the height? Well, the height of the triangle is really the distance from here to here. I know the whole distance is 19. I don't know what that piece is. But I do know that this much is 13. So if this much is 13, how much more do I need to get to 19? I would need 6 more. So the height of the triangle is 6. So 8 times 6 is 48. 48 divided by 2 is 24. So to get the area of the total shape, I just need to add the area of my first shape plus the area of my second shape, and that is going to be 128 inches squared. Alright, the next one here, again, there's always more than one way to break these up. I like to pick what looks to me to be the simplest, and the simplest way to me is right across here. So if we split the shape right there, we have a rectangle and a square. I'll call this one number 1 and this number 2. So the area of the first shape, that's a rectangle, so it's going to be base times height, which is 11 times 4, which is 44, and we are working in centimeters. The area of the second shape, also base times height, but this time 5 times 5, which is of course 25. And to get the area of the total, we just have to add these two together. 44 plus 25, and the area would be 69 centimeters squared. Alright, that's it. There's another one. Hope that helped, and we will see you soon.